The Champions League is getting to the end of its group stage, and at the moment, Barcelona is looking like they are going to go through if they win their last match against Copenhagen. Because I have a very, very big question, a question which I'm really pondering about. I was thinking, can this actually happen? Despite the last season, tremendous last season Barcelona had. Remember, Barcelona signed this new coach after a very terrible end of Xavi Hernandez. Barcelona signed Hansi Flick. And Hansi Flick have changed this football, changed the way Barcelona plays, and changed everything. And they got to the semi-final last year, and then they got very, very far. They were supposed to be at the final. We don't know if they could win it because they were the team, the most exciting team in Europe, and the people were thinking they are the one that are going to win it with the massive attack of Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and prime Lewandowski. Only that this season, Lewandowski has not been showing us what he's showing us. But I have a big question, guys. Since the return of Hansi Flick, since coming of Hansi Flick, do you think this year is finally the year Barcelona will win the UEFA Champions League? Remember, when last Barcelona won the Champions League was 2015. Who was playing during that period? I could tell you the first 11. This was the period where Lionel Messi was still a Barcelona player. Neymar was still a Barcelona player. Suarez was still a Barcelona player. Xavi Hernandez was still playing. Iniesta, Rakitic. These are legends who have already retired. That was the last time we won the Champions League. And we know Barcelona, when it comes to regular season, when it comes to local trophies, like national trophies, like the league, the Copa del Rey, and all this, Barcelona tends to win everything. But there is this trophy, UEFA Champions League is the hardest trophy, and Barcelona have recently been failing. And history have told us that the best team does not win the Champions League. The best team does not win the Champions League, but it's the team who are really, really desired and aspiring to win it. A team with heart, a team with personality, and a team with mental strength. And that is why Barcelona lost the game against Inter Milan last year. Inter Milan was a side which was not really, really convincing. They were losing games during that period they faced Barcelona, but they had the mentality, they had the heart, and that's why they got to the final. Unfortunately, they lost it woefully to a very, very exciting PSG side, who at the beginning of the season, they had one of the terrible times. They were not even playing well. That's why I tell you, the team that wins the Champions League, not history have told us that they are not the best team. But we've been talking about Barcelona for the last 2 seasons since the return, or since the arrival of Hansi Flick, and this question has always been there. Can they win the Champions League? That is the trophy Barcelona will trade any trophy for the Champions League as it stands, because they've won it. The last 10 years, I think they've won more than 5 or 6 leagues. I think they've done it. They are the team with the highest cups when it comes to Spanish trophies or a Spanish competition. But they always find it difficult to win the Champions League, and that is where Madrid is higher than them when it comes to achievement, when it comes to success. Because when it comes to club football, there's only one trophy bigger than the rest, which is the Champions League, and Madrid have gotten it 15 times. So it's a very crazy start when it comes to comparing Madrid's success and Barcelona's success. So guys, that's the big question, because I've been looking at Barcelona this season, and this season they have not been really convincing. Last season they ended at the 2nd position in this group phase, but this season they are in the 9th position, and they have to win the next game against Copenhagen to be able to be among the top 8. And that is where the problem is. It comes down to where this Barcelona team wants it more. The group phase is not the most important thing, but when it comes to group phase, what you have to do is just make sure that you are in the top 8. But when the serious moment comes is after that group stage, the knockout stage. This is where the men shows they are men. This is where everything becomes serious, and this is where Barcelona has to step up if they really want to win the Champions League. So I've been looking at Barcelona this year, and they've not been conceding. They lost against Chelsea, they lost against PSG, they drew against Club Brugge, and it's not been really convincing. But it's too early to judge, because last season Barcelona won almost all the games in the group stage. Barcelona won almost all the games, but they still didn't make it to the final. PSG was losing almost all the games. PSG was not even at the top 8. As of last season's UEFA Champions League, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, was not at the top 8. They even played playoff. So it's not saying that Barcelona cannot win this Champions League. Looking at the team they have, Lewandowski is not really the Lewandowski of last season or 2 seasons ago. Ferran Torres is not very reliable. Rafinha is the only person consistent at that forward. Lamine Yamal just came out of an injury. So at least it's too early to judge. You have Rashford there. You have Pedri. You have superstars. You have Fermin Lopez, who is firing up. You have Olmo. You have all these players who they know that this is the season. This is the season they have to do it if they want to actually win trophy, because we don't know if Hansi Flick is going to be there next season. Hansi Flick is somebody that signs deal year after year after year, doesn't give you 4 or 5 years deal, a contract like other coaches does. But he really knows that this club really wants Champions League. If this club wants to go back to financial fair play, they needed this Champions League win, because the Champions League money is like covering up every debt you have. So it's a very, very interesting topic, and I have been thinking a lot about it. I'm like, this season, can actually Barcelona win the UEFA Champions League? Guys, let me know. It's crazy, because when you look at the teams that Barcelona could face in the quarterfinals, you're talking about Arsenal, who is in form. We're talking about Bayern Munich. Real Madrid as well is there. You're talking about Liverpool. You're talking about PSG. We're talking about Chelsea, Man City. All these teams are not teams that come back and just like, relax. These are teams that normally, when it comes down to the most serious part of the Champions League, this is where they turn up. This is actually where they turn up. So Barcelona this year, I don't know, they are not looking very convincing, but that's why I'm asking you guys. I really wanted to know your response to this, because it's a very crazy situation Barcelona is, knowing fully well that they've lost some of their key players with injury, and they're going to be back before the knockout phase. But I still don't have the answers when it comes to if Barcelona can win this Champions League. That's why I'm asking you guys. Do you think Football Club Barcelona, this current Barcelona squad, can win the Champions League? They are promising. The attack is one of the best in Europe. But can they actually win the Champions League? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll be reading and I'll be responding to you guys. We are improving the channel every time. Without you guys, this is impossible. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in the next video.